Hey beautiful, how are you doing today? Welcome back, or welcome if this is your first time. Hi, I'm Lucky, and today we're going to be talking about queens in prison, the gays, honey, and transgender females, as well as it relates to violence. As it relates to the blows in your face. Like, no, hopefully none of y'all have ever had a blow in your face, nor ever will, like nothing ever comes to blows except the good kinds. Let me stop. Okay. But I know in the past I've spoken a lot about, trying to bring like attention to the fact that queens, gay people, and transgender females, I'm in the habit of saying queens. I love that word. I've realized that like, I say it so much that thankfully nobody ever has, actually. But just to I guess say this, I hope that nobody ever really kind of like misinterprets it or just takes it in an offensive way. Like, it's like, why are you always calling us queens? You know what I'm saying? Like, gay, I'm a gay guy or something like that, or transgender female. It's like, why are you always saying queens? But for me, it's become such a positive term. For one, because everywhere that I went, the 2 compounds that I was at during my time in prison, people started using the same term that I did, because it was a lot better than what people refer to the LGBT community inside of prison. People who are not inside of the community, like people who are not gay guys or transgender females or dating, like the men who get with the feminine guys or transgender females, they call us boys, they call us punks, they call us gumps, and then actually other queens, they call each other fags, which I think is the craziest thing in the world. That's something I've never actually, I don't think I've ever mentioned this, because I don't like the word, but I'm not offended no more if anybody called me that, honey. Believe it or not, I had lived such a long time in my life before I ever was called that word. I thought I would have been called it like immediately, the way a lot of gay people are called it before they ever even come out of the closet. I was just lucky, I guess you could say. I don't know, I just was just lucky. But I always waited for my time to come, and it never did until way later, until after I was locked up, after I was in there. Then it was queens who were saying it. If anybody had ever said it, it was probably obviously behind my back, and I guess I just didn't know. And then, like, since I've obviously been on YouTube a couple of different times, I've been called it. So I mean, it really don't matter. Like, I'm sure I'll hear it in this video because I'm talking about it. But anyway, it's just strange to me that it was queens that would say it, oh, I'm not like these fags, or I don't care. It was really weird. That's so strange to me. But I don't know. I can't explain that one. It's just is what it is. But as a result of that, I started saying queens. Like, I just started, when I would want to talk about us or them, I would be like, the queens. And then other people, it started to catch on and people started to say it. So like, I'm just in the habit of saying it, I don't know. I hope it never offends anybody. And honestly, if it do, then you're in the wrong place. Like, it shouldn't, so hey, and I don't think that's something I can change. I don't know what else to say, Anyway, in the past, I have definitely tried to bring more awareness, I guess, to the fact that a lot of queens in prison tend to be more dangerous than most people think, than a lot of people know. It's because of the nature of the environment, what a lot of gay people and transgender females have to deal with and stuff, the danger that they can find themselves in. So as a result of that, they end up in one way or another having to at times be, dangerous because of whatever it is that they're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Either dangerous or mousy, I guess, kind of, or just clever. You really have to think outside of the box sometimes in certain situations. So I've talked about that in different videos, and that's not actually what I want to talk about in this video. In this video, what I want to talk about is something that I haven't really spoken too much on, but recently, Amanda, hey Amanda, how are you doing? Hi everybody, I hope you all are having a great day. But anyway, had asked a question about gay people getting into fights or having to deal with violence just because of being gay. And I'll tell you something that you might not actually know. It is not very common, honestly, for a gay person. I don't really honestly care what anybody says. This is just the truth from my experience, you know, and I was in there for 4 years. I am a gay person. So from the day one until the end day of 4 years, I was 100% in the community, you know, like knew the queens, heard stories about the queens, living the queen life. I was a queen in prison, you know what I'm saying? So this is just what it is. It is not actually very common for a gay man or a transgender female to just be attacked by somebody randomly. And the reason for that, a straight guy actually has more chance of that happening than a gay person. I'm not going to say like it never happens, but it's just not very common. It's not very likely. And the reason for that is because, number one, actually is because people know that whoever the queen is, even if they don't even know that, you know, they have guys that are talking about them, looking at them, lusting after them, waiting for an opportunity to talk to them. Other guys who have been doing time because of doing time, sorry, the sun is just crazy today. Other guys who have been doing time, they know that this queen has guys that, like, if I were to just attack that person with no cause or no reason or something like that, I'm gonna have somebody coming after me. You know, like, you had guys, actually, even OG Silverback recently, we did a collaboration. He interviewed me for his channel. He was even saying that he didn't talk to queens in there. And I believe him, because I've known people like that. Like, he said he didn't talk to queens because he didn't know if somebody would beat him up or whatever, just because I'm talking to their girl. You know what I'm saying? That definitely happens. It definitely happens. My prison sugar daddy boss, who I've talked about, he was like that. He would intimidate people. Nobody wanted to talk to me because he was somebody who just was known for fighting. Like, you just look at him the wrong way and he might punch you in the face. Like, he was just that type of guy to other guys, you know what I'm saying? So they definitely weren't messing with me. And that is number one reason why it's just not likely for a queen to just randomly be attacked. And I apologize about the sun, but I don't know if this is too, yeah. Is this better? I don't think so. This is worse, is it? This looks crazy, don't it? Look like I'm wearing a really bright ass shirt. All right, I guess we just back doing this. Okay, sorry about it. I'm sorry about it. But anyway, that's reason number one. Reason number two is because, dang, I can't believe I forgot it that quickly. You know, and I started to say it as my first reason number one, but then I switched it because I realized I was like, actually, that's the first reason, is because of that. And then the second reason, actually, I just remembered it, and I'm sorry, you know, I told you, I think maybe if you've seen previous videos, I've explained in the past that I'm in a funny situation right now because the computer I have been using for the past 2 years broke, and now I'm using a Google Chrome computer that I just had as like a backup for a time like a year and a half ago when my computer it needed to be fixed by Best Buy, and I thought it wasn't gonna work then, and I just like impulsively bought the computer like, oh, I need to be posting and stuff, but I don't like it, and I don't like the Google computers. I don't think it's very user friendly. I don't like how it's like you have to be signed in all the time. I feel like it's tracking everything. Any like side thing that you need, it has to be like an app that you're getting. I don't like it. I miss my little, you know, user-friendly Microsoft HP computer, you know what I'm saying? I really miss it a lot. But until I, you know, can get another one, you know, boo-hoo, let me cry about this computer, I guess, you know. But anyway, I don't have any editing software, so I just been posting, you know, until I edit stuff. You know, I'm doing YouTube on a broke man's budget, on a busted queen's budget, okay? That's how we doing it over here. Amateur status every day, all day. Even if I ever have a million, if there's ever a million of us in this community, I think I still would maintain some level of like amateur style, because it's like, I really like this. I feel like it pays like, you know, homage to like the good old days when people just posted themselves themselves online. I don't know, you know, like maybe that kind of like speaks to my generation. But anyway, back to what I was saying before I forget it again. The second reason that it's less likely to happen is because of respect. Guys don't really respect other guys that just beat on a queen. They feel like it looks like pathetic, I guess, because they don't have no respect. Like somebody like me, I'm not gonna say I'm the baddest fighter in the world, but I definitely am not scared. Regardless of how I seem, I know people think I'm just so sissy, but I really am not scared to throw a punch, you know? Even though people did used to, you know... Okay, but no, I'm not, look, I know I'm not no fighter. I know I'm not no fighter. But at the same time, you ain't just gonna hit me and I'm just gonna just be standing there. Like, you know, it's like I'm gonna fight back. Like, it's just, y'all see I clap back. I don't even be meaning to with the comments. It's like, you know, and we just won't even go there. The point is, regardless, it's about the point of view. I look like a sissy, you know? And I'm not even the most flamboyant. I know I'm very feminine, but I'm not even the most flamboyant queen. You know what I'm saying? So do you get what I'm saying? It's like guys don't really respect that. They feel like whoever the guy is that's doing it, it's like, it's almost like they look like a punk, because it's like, oh, you trying to get, you know, bonus points for picking on this, for picking on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you trying to really act like you some type, like Billy Badass, because you done knock them out. You know what I mean? And then that's the funny thing, because then guys who have gotten into fights with queens, they all, a lot of them, not all of them, because I can't make a generalization like that, but a lot of guys that I spoke to who did get into fights with queens for one reason or another, they would joke about it, be like, yeah, and they was actually getting the upper hand on me. But I feel like it was because I wasn't really fighting them. You know, it's almost like fighting a girl. Y'all really need to start thinking like that. Like, seriously, it took me a long time. Gay guys honestly replace, and transgender females, of course, but gay guys like myself, beard and all, honestly, like, replace women inside of prison. They literally do. It's like, because there just is no women. So it's something that kind of almost happens like naturally, because when you have one gender and the majority of the gender behaves in a specific type of way, and then you have these other, like, you know, anomalies or whatever, rare individuals that they act similarly to the opposite gender that they once used to know 5 years ago, 10 years ago. They just barely can get a whisper of it over a phone here and there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it just happens naturally. It's like you just start to, you know what I mean? Like, so that's really the main reasons why it's not very common. Now, when it does happen, which I found out, which is why I was so careful about who I ended up with, is when queens are in relationships. Majority of the times that the most violence actually happens to a queen, a gay man or a transgender female. Even a transgender female is when it's whoever it is that they are with. And this is the scary part. It's actually so common. I was just speaking about how uncommon, or, you know, unlikely something occurs. This is so freaking common, so likely to occur, that it's just sort of like expected. People, when I was like single, just sort of trying to understand the environment and the culture and, you know, my place in it and stuff, people would just, this was part of like my grooming, I guess you could say. I've spoken on a lot of things where it's like, oh, queens are groomed to be this way, they're groomed to be that way. Like, it's like, this was another part of it where it's like, oh yeah, and more than likely you're going to get into a relationship with a dude, you know, and he probably gonna beat you up a couple times, he probably gonna slap you around a couple times. Like, I'm like, yeah, you're gonna have honey, like, let me see, like, I'd like to see that happen. I would like to see that happen. It ain't happening. It's just not happening. I'm not about to catch a body case up in this place. Like, I'm trying to get my tail home, child. Like, I'm not trying to kill somebody in here. There is no way that, there's just so many things about prison that just would drive me so up a wall. The fact that guys look at us like, we are almost like alien, like less than human, because it's like you're not a man, but you're not a woman either. You're like something just other. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, to some degree, they feel like it's like they are lowering themselves to get with us. This is prison. Meanwhile, everybody busted. All these people are criminal people. When I was out, I was in college. I'm dating executive dudes and stuff like that. Like, it's like, so to me, it's like I'm feeling like I have to, try to find somebody even worthy for me, in my opinion, because it's like I'm bombarded all the freaking time. This is what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? And now you trying to tell me that the motherfucker gonna be slapping me upside my head all the time? I don't think so. And actually, it is even worse than just being slapped around. They be stabbing the queens, slicing the queens, throwing them upside the wall, like knocking people's teeth out and stuff. There was too many queens that I met that when I'm talking to them, I would be seeing that they were missing a tooth. They'd have a gash here, a scar there. Their eye socket, one would be, sunken in and the other one is fine. It's like, a big, like long, scar on their head. I just was like, there is no way that I am leaving here looking worse than how I came in because of a guy that I met in here. I just don't think so. Like, it'd be one thing if it was like a millionaire man that I didn't fell in love with and he's just a little bit aggressive sometimes when he drinks, but I'm putting up with it because he's provided me this lavish lifestyle where I don't have to, lift my finger for nothing. Everything is paid for. Even then, it's like, that's pitiful, and I don't, wish nobody to settle for something like that. But I'm saying, it's like, that's one thing. Then it's another thing to have to deal with somebody that I know they feel like they're tolerating me because I'm a just barely good enough substitution for what they actually want, which is a woman's pussycat. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't actually desire what I have. It's just that I remind them enough of it, so they have to deal with it. And then they're gonna beat me around? There's just no way. There's just no way. There's just no way. Like, I'm telling you, that's just what was it. That is why I was so particular. And even though with Boss having the reputation that he had, he was known as somebody who had, like, honestly never had ever put his hands on a queen. Even at times when queens did get, like, aggressive with him, he just kind of, maybe would, I guess, restrain them or something. But it's like, he just was known to not really be that way towards feminine energy, I suppose. But even then, it was just, too nerve-wracking for me because he certainly beat up everybody else, And then thankfully, then I met with Cam. And then there was running jokes because sometimes people, they would be concerned when we would be arguing. They would be like, you all right, Lucky? I don't need to knock him out, do I? But as people got to know me around the program, and, I can be kind of flippant sometimes, slick mouth and stuff like that, they'd be like, well, actually, I don't know. We need to probably be asking you, Cam, are you all right? Like, and we'd be laughing. It was just like an inside joke, but we both knew from the get when we first were like just barely even having sex with each other, doing anything, like just barely kind of making a connection. That was something we early spoke about. Like, he was like, I don't believe in that, don't put your hands on me. Like, I never will put my hands on you. The most aggressive he ever got with me, and if I'm to be honest with you, in a twisted way, and then we out, I kind of liked it. The most aggressive he ever got with me, aside from making me scream, child, but for real, the most aggressive that he ever got with me, one time we was arguing and I was trying to leave, and like leave from the argument. And as I was like, you know, I said what I was gonna say and I'm going to stomp out the door, he grabs both my arms, and Cam's taller than me. Like, you know, we're about, I guess, the same weight, but he is very thin. He's like lean muscle, and then he's taller than me. He grabbed, but he used to pick me up all the time. Like, I don't know, after a while, I kind of would pick him up too as like a joke, because he'd be like, no, 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 no. And then after I got him up, then he just like kind of just like chill. But he would pick me up all the time. So he was pretty strong. But he grabbed my arms, you know what I mean, to like hold me in place. And I just held, because I knew we were arguing. Like, it was that's why I was getting ready to leave. It was a very heated argument. But like, I knew that if I went to leave and he wouldn't let me go, I probably would have did something, like shoved him or something like that, or something, and then we maybe would have got the tussling, and I didn't want that. So I did just like let him just hold me, you know what I mean, like there, as he's saying whatever it is that he was saying. And then we did make up that night, and it was really, really good. I miss that man so freaking much. But my gosh, I'll tell you, I really miss him. Anyway, but yeah, I just wanted to answer that, you know, because that is honestly how queens end up in the most violence. It's surprisingly through the men that they get with. And the reason behind that is obviously because, you know, just the prison environment is just insane. It's just insane. But I've already chatted long enough. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thank you for being here. Thank all of you that have donated to the GoFundMe page. And I don't have the list with me right now. I'm, you know, outside, you know, so just thank each and every one of you. We are at $836 last time that I checked. I really appreciate each and every one of you. If you want to see more of me, you can always check me out on Patreon. I just posted new videos, the memberships. Have a wonderful day. Just have a wonderful day. Look in the mirror and remind yourself that you are very beautiful. Bye.